Welcome back to Down the Road. We're going to be joined now by Bryan Poyzer, and I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. He's from a place that's near and dear to me, the North Dakota State College of Science. Bryan, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thanks, Joel.
All right, here's the interesting thing. I didn't know this morning I'd be talking about Christmas carols and the origin and how this all shakes out. Tell people what you do at the North Dakota State College of Science.
Right now, I'm the program coordinator, which means I oversee the choirs and the bands and the drama things that we have on campus, as well as, of course, our transfer opportunities where kids come in, get their 2 years, and then go on to do music and become educators in a 4-year university. My primary focus as far as performing is the choirs.
Okay. So a big background in the arts is what you're telling me.
Yes.
A big background in the arts. We were talking about Christmas carols and the origin of all of this. I think a lot of people know the words, but they may not know the reason. Can you walk me through some of what you think people don't know?
I think what people maybe don't know is the age of some of these carols. People were singing songs for celebrations thousands of years ago, and those celebrations weren't necessarily Christmas. It would be like the winter solstice, or singing songs to celebrate the harvest, which some people still do around here. And then as Christianity kind of, developed, a lot of those songs were written in the same style, but with the text devoting themselves to Christmas.
So different countries. I'm curious about that because my parents could sing Christmas carols in German and Norwegian, and there was a real background there with their parents. Obviously, their parents being first generation or second, but awful doggone close second generation. Tell me what you see in other countries versus what you see in our country.
I think that we, like our history, we take all those in. We are the nation of immigrants. So, like you said, my grandmother, who's Norwegian, will know the words to "I am so glad each Christmas Eve," and she'll sing it in Norwegian. And I think we envelop the best of all those things. When you travel to other countries, they take very much pride in their national composers. You'll go to Finland, and their national composer is Sibelius, and they will just, treat them like a king for all the music that they've done. I think that's the biggest difference. They have that nationalism, that pride in maybe a specific composer, where we are just welcome to take everybody.
So let me do the age thing, Bryan, because I have absolutely no doubt I'm older than you, and it doesn't matter. Okay, so let me throw this at you. We were sitting there and we developed Christmas programs at my other workplace, and we go in to find out what we like, what we don't like. And my producer in radio is much younger than I am. She's in her mid-20s. And she still likes a lot of what I like. And so I'm not trying to say that the new generation's Christmas music isn't good, but what I'm trying to say is there any? Because it seems to me that what I hear on the radio, what I hear in the shopping centers, what I hear everywhere is, and it isn't necessarily my generation. It's the one older than me. So is there new music like this?
There is, but I think that our hearts and our minds also are very nostalgic at Christmas time. So when we hear Nat King Cole sing a Christmas song, and that's the one we've heard for so many years, we might gravitate towards that. And the same thing goes with, I think, Burl Ives. When he does a Holly Jolly Christmas, we still hear it on radio stations, and that's the one that people kind of go to. Yes, it's a great arrangement. They do a wonderful job singing, but I think part of us brings us back to our childhood, and that's what we've heard. That's what we enjoy. As far as the younger generation, are they writing stuff today? Yeah, they are. But, when you're talking about 1,000 years of songs, a modern Christmas song might be 50 years old. I touched on it the other day with Mary Did You Know, probably, one of the most popular songs right now. It hasn't quite reached its 30th anniversary yet. Yet it's being played nonstop. So there are a few that have come out that people maybe 50 years ago, maybe 100 years from now might look back on, but I'm to the point like you, Joel. I think they're reaching back to nostalgia, and what they heard right away when they were young seems to be what they're looking for.
Is there one genre that is more traditional, more listened to, more sung to? And let me give you an example of what I'm getting at. I'm normally a rock and roll blues guy. Okay, that's if you find me going to a concert, it's going to be something like that normally. It isn't as though I don't like country music. In fact, I enjoy the heck out of it. It's just not going to be the first ticket I'm going to buy. But when I hear Christmas music, it seems to me I hear country music. Is that the norm?
Yeah, there is a definite connection between Southern music, Southern United States music, Southern gospel music, and Christianity in general. I think when you look at it that way, if you're going to sing songs about baby Jesus, you're going to be growing up in the church, and that tradition is definitely embedded in country music.
What about the dark side? Is there anything there that that isn't all cheery? That isn't because music is about storytelling. Right? I mean, good music is about storytelling. Is it all upbeat, positive?
No, and I think that you'll see this in the next month, that when churches are doing services, many of them will do a very happy, upbeat service, Go Tell It on the Mountain, those songs that are just rousing, celebrations. And then there's been a tendency for churches to also do a blue Christmas type service, which is very reflective. Not everybody had the same year. You might have lost a parent. You might have lost a child. Your Christmas is going to be different, and music will reflect that. You might not want the happy, happy, joy, joy stuff. You might want that serious, slower, reflective Christmas song.
Okay, so I went to the Concordia Christmas concert about a week ago. Just artists, just incredible wall of sound and dedication, and quite frankly, from what one might determine as amateurs, professionalism. Didn't know a lot of the music. I didn't know most of the music, but I have to tell you, I enjoyed most of the music. And so what is it about that when you put an orchestra behind it, they might take you to a different place than what you'd normally go?
Yeah, and I think that's a choral music in general. You might hear a song where someone sings it as a solo, and then all of a sudden you put it into a group of 100 or 200 in a mass choir. Well, an excellent one like Concordia that we have here locally. Add the strings, which is as close as you can get for an instrument to express themselves vocally as a stringed instrument. And then all of a sudden, you're right, you might not have heard that song before, but it's going to touch you in a certain way. And then maybe that's a song you go back to a year from now and say, boy, that was really, really special. And maybe over time that becomes one of our classics.
Okay, so people are going to want to know, and if I don't ask you, then I'm going to get in trouble, Brian. So let me ask you, when you put that CD in, or when you tune into Pandora and listen to whatever Christmas music you want to listen to, what is it?
I usually have a mixtape. We call it a mixtape, our generation.
Yeah.
But I like the originals. Like I said, Nat King Cole would be, one that I go to. Burl Ives, some of those original singers. I have a Frank Sinatra CD, Christmas CD in my car. You just can't quite top those. As far as the modern ones, Pentatonix, Michael Bublé, Kelly Clarkson, very underrated Christmas CD a couple years ago. So I guess I have quite a bit of a mix, but those are probably my favorites right now.
So explain to me this, and it's all personal taste, so you'll say, look, yeah, exactly. I can't answer that question for you. But why do I like Frank Sinatra better than Bing Crosby when it comes to Christmas music?
I'm on your side, first of all. Frank really delivers the lyric. I think that's what separates him from not only his peers, but maybe as far as one man standing alone with a microphone in the history of the last 75 to 100 years. When you hear his lyric, he not only sings to you, but a different person might interpret that lyric differently. And I think that's what makes him special.
I think Frank understood and appreciated all different ways of singing a song, where Bing was very much white, upper class people. But
Yep.
Brian, I could do this all day. We may do it again if you're willing to.
Absolutely.
So appreciate you coming on.